Small business loans in Arkansas. How to get an Arkansas small business loan. Call 888-653-0124 today or click the link in the description to learn more. Minimum 3 months in business and $5,000 per month in sales. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. They create jobs, provide services and goods that people need, and contribute to the overall health of our communities. Unfortunately, small companies often struggle to get loans because banks are risk-averse. Small business loans in Arkansas are an essential tool for many local businesses. It allows them to grow and expand their operations. However, getting one can be difficult. If you want to start a new business or expand your existing one, you should consider applying for a small business loan. Business owners looking for alternative business loan options may find it helpful to know what they have access to. This will help them decide which option is best suited for their situation. The following information discusses different types of business loans as well as how to go about obtaining them. Sba Loans. The U.S. Small Business Administration offers several programs designed to make sure entrepreneurs succeed. These include low interest rates on government-guaranteed loans, tax credits for certain expenses, and training opportunities. Many companies offer these benefits to employees who work with them. But if you're starting on your own, there's no reason not to take advantage of all the assistance offered by the federal agency. If you qualify for any of the SBA's 7 Guarantee Program, 504 Loan Program, Express Lending Program, Microloan Program, or Women-Owned Enterprise Program, you could receive up to $2 million in funding. You must meet specific requirements to participate in any of these programs, however. For example, business enterprises must show proof of income, assets, and credit history before being considered eligible for a loan. Once approved, borrowers must pay back the money at a fixed rate over 5 years. Interest rates vary depending on the amount borrowed. Bank loans. Banks typically lend funds to individuals and corporations through 2 primary sources: revolving lines of credit and business term loans. Revolving business lines of credit allow customers to borrow from day to day based upon current needs. Term loans require repayment over a set time. Banks usually charge higher interest rates than non-bank financial institutions, such as microlenders and community development business finance organizations. Some banks even impose additional fees when lending to smaller businesses. Private lender options. If you don't qualify for traditional forms of business financing, you might still be able to obtain a loan. Private lenders specialize in providing short-term debt solutions to clients who lack collateral or sufficient cash reserves. Most private lenders do not perform credit checks. Instead, they rely solely on personal relationships between lenders and borrowers. Because of this, they tend to favor larger companies than those with established reputations. While private lenders are less regulated than banks, they generally adhere to strict underwriting guidelines. Before signing anything, always read the fine print carefully. Also, keep in mind that while private lenders are willing to extend credit to almost anyone, they won't necessarily approve every application. Equipment loans. Equipment financing loans are loan amounts for capital equipment used in running a company. Equipment includes items like computers, office furniture, machinery, vehicles, etc. It doesn't matter whether the item was purchased new or second-hand. If it helps run your business, then it counts. Most people use equipment loans to purchase large purchases like trucks, forklift machines, computer systems, etc. However, you can also use equipment loans to buy inventory, software licenses, office supplies, etc. Even though the terms differ slightly, equipment loans are similar to commercial real estate loans because both involve purchasing something tangible. Loan terms usually depend on the kind of equipment financed. For instance, leasing costs will likely be lower than buying outright since you only have to make monthly payments rather than paying off the entire cost upfront. On the flip side, leasing requires regular maintenance, which may increase operating expenses. Business financing objectives that include getting a truck means making monthly payments for several years, whereas financing machinery would probably last much longer without ongoing upkeep. Business credit cards. Business capital solutions include borrowing money against future earnings. This form of funding allows you to pay back your creditor at any point after receiving payment. Business owners often turn to business credit cards to fund their operations until they receive revenue. The best way to choose a card is by considering its benefits versus drawbacks. The APR should fall within reasonable limits, so you know exactly how much you're going to end up paying. You want to avoid high APRs because these add unnecessary stress to already tight budgets. A good rule of thumb is to stick to no more than 10% April. If possible, find out what others paid before deciding on a rate. How to get loans for a small business? Applying for loans for a small business isn't difficult. You need to know where to look. Here's a list of places you should start looking for funding. 1. Local bank. Many local banks offer various kinds of loans for their customers. If you're near one of these banks, ask them about any special programs they offer. The best way to find out is by visiting the branch personally. 2. Credit unions. We often overlook these as potential sources of financing, but they offer quite a few different services. They range from checking accounts to mortgages, so there's no shortage of ways to fund your business. 3. Private lenders. Many companies specialize in providing loans specifically for business expansion and other business purchases. Some even allow you to borrow funds using equity instead of cash. 4. Government programs. Most governments offer grants and low-interest loans through agencies such as the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Check with your state government to see if they offer anything specifically for startups. 5. Online resources. There are numerous online resources dedicated to helping small businesses obtain financing for any business situation. Financing for business expansion is prevalent among entrepreneurs who wish to purchase new equipment or expand into another market. Business Loans Arkansas. How to qualify for small business loans. The application process for a business in Arkansas is relatively simple. This simple application usually involves filling out a one-page form and submitting supporting documentation. It is time to wait for approval once all paperwork is submitted. Approval times vary depending on the business lenders and the amount requested. However, the average processing time for loan applications typically takes anywhere between 1 day to 3 months. The continuation of business operations during the waiting period depends mainly on whether the applicant qualifies for additional financing. Additional financing may be needed when applying for a line of credit, which will require collateral. Alternatively, applicants may be eligible for working capital lines of credit, which do not require collateral. Working capital lines of credit are ideal for those seeking immediate access to funds without putting down assets for industrial competitiveness. Once approved, we must meet the terms of the loan agreement. Terms differ based on the type of loan being applied for, but generally speaking, borrowers have 2 years to repay the debt. After that, interest begins accruing again. Repayment periods tend to last longer for more significant amounts borrowed. Conclusion. Small business loans in Arkansas for deserving entrepreneurs can help finance almost every aspect of running a successful company. Whether looking for purchasing inventory, expanding into a new market, or simply paying for business debt relief during a difficult time, capital loans with flexible terms can make it happen. Funding opportunities exist for both large corporations and smaller businesses alike. The key is knowing what kind of financial assistance source best suits your needs, budget, and goals. If you would like more information regarding financing programs, please give us a call at 888-653-0124 today. Have any additional questions?